episode 6 of the Shadowgraph, Photographic Case Studies. I'm your host, B. Smitty. First, we're going to talk about an incident that happened October 21st, 1978, involving a pilot named Frederick Valentich. He was 20 years old and had been flying for 2 years, and he was on a single-engine Cessna. When he was in the air, I'm going to read off some quotes here. Royal Australian Air Force had to say about Fred's flight. It was a fairly normal exercise, getting an appropriate instrument rating for the trip. It was a very straightforward flight, and I could see no reason why it shouldn't have concluded successfully. What happened three-fourths of an hour into the flight, I think, will be one of the great mysteries of Australian aviation. Let's go back to where he called in, where he was having an issue. And what he was reporting was that there was an aircraft hovering above him as he was flying. And no matter where he would move, this aircraft was above him. And this is part of those communications. So Fred would say, it's got a green light, that's sort of metallic. Like it's shiny all over. It's just disappeared. Is this some sort of military aircraft or what? And the tower responds, is the aircraft still with you? Fred says, and even asked if there's an aircraft in the vicinity, and they reported back no to him. And Fred would go on to say that he thinks that they're playing some type of game, that they're flying over him at 2 to 3 times the speeds that he could even identify. And you can tell he was in some type of peril, because he ended up saying, it seems like it's stationary. What I'm doing right now is orbiting, and the thing is just orbiting on top of me. Also, it's got a green light and some sort of metallic, like it's all shiny on the outside. And during all this communication, they end up asking what his intentions are on the flight. He ends up saying, my intentions are to go to King Island, Melbourne. And the strange aircraft started hovering over him again. And he said it's hovering and it's not an aircraft. And after that, there was 17 seconds of this weird clicking noise, and then that's it, vanished. Airplane was never found. He was never found, just gone. And what's interesting about the same exact night, that there's actually a photo that was taken. Roy Manfield was on the ground level shooting photos of a sunset, and he said, quote, I looked up and saw this long green light about 1,000 to 2,000 feet above the aircraft. So we sat there and watched it for a few seconds, and the green light crept closer to the plane. The plane is coming down pretty steep. It's on a 45-degree angle, I said. It's going to crash. Done the normal thing. Had the camera on automatic exposure, and I took 6 photographs of the sun disappearing into the sea. I observed this mark on the print that looked like developing error or something. They messed it up, I said. Just a minute that night, I took that exactly the night the guy disappeared. A leading Australian lab looked over the negative and didn't find any dirt or damage on the negative, determining that the strange mark was actually in the picture. And the negative was later sent to the United States for computer analysis by a team of UFO researchers. They claimed that the blot was actually solid metallic object. And one of the theories that he was like disoriented in the air and was actually flying down and instead of flying straight. And all the reflections of the windows from the different levels that he was, because he was not flying the right way, was causing all this confusion in the air and ended up crash landing into the water. Who knows what happened? What do you think happened? Was it a UFO? Photographer Ricky Powell shot this amazing photo of Warhol and Basquiat in the streets in New York. And the story is so great. He was actually across the street from where this photo was taken. He was on the steps of a building with graffiti artist Zephyr and Revolt. And they saw Warhol and Basquiat walking up to the art gallery that they were going to. And Ricky Powell said, quote, I skedaddled across the street and asked to take their photo and got it. And I think that's a great thing to think about when you're on the street and you see something or someone you want to shoot. You just got to skedaddle across the street and make it happen.